The story begins with a man who opened his eyes and found himself lying on the bed of an unknown room. He was unable to understand what was happening. That is why he started looking around the room. Suddenly a camera came in front of him from which a man's voice was heard. That voice said good morning to the prisoner and asked about his well-being. But this man was unable to understand what was happening to him. He did not remember anything about his life. He only remembered that someone had hit him hard on the head from behind. Well, then the voice coming from the camera asked him his name. The prisoner said that his name is Frank. Then the voice replied that my name is Howard and I have been made to take care of your needs. Then Frank remembered that he was arrested, but he knew that he had not committed any crime. Then Howard advised him that he should take a short walk and calm his mind. Hearing this, Frank became happy inside because he thought that he would escape from here on this pretext. But instead of sending him out, a treadmill came in front of him. Then Frank got very angry. He came and then he remembered some more moments of his life. He got ready after taking bath at his home and fed his dog. Then the news of the disappearance of a revolutionary named Fletcher came on TV, after which a scuffle started between the police and the rest of the protesters. After this, Frank asked him for food. After taking the food, Frank asked if anyone had gone to his house because his dog was alone at home and he would not be able to survive alone for long. But Howard once again said that I cannot help you in this. Now Frank got angry and he shouted and punched the camera. Then Howard removed the camera and suddenly the light of the room went off. After some time, when the light came in Frank's room once again, Howard saw that some part of the floor had become wet. Then Frank replied that he had no other place to urinate. Then Howard opened the bathroom door and said that from now on you can go here. As soon as Frank entered the bathroom, the door closed immediately. Then he saw that his room was being cleaned during this time. Now Frank again got lost in his memories. This time he was sitting in a bathroom. He was in the cafe. He looked around the people and then asked for coffee from the senior girl. Howard fed him food in the prison. He started taking Howard's name again and again, to which Howard also kept saying yes Frank, yes Frank, yes Frank in return. Then Frank realized that till now he was not talking to a person but to a computer. Thinking this, his mind got dizzy and he started banging his head on the walls. He said in anger that he wants to talk to a real person and not a machine. Well, then Frank started saying that he hates all computers. According to him, computers should not be brought in between in everything. Now Frank, again lost in his thoughts, reached that cafe. Then Frank's eyes went to the scanner near the table and then he saw the picture on the wall. That girl said that she has taken all these pictures herself. Frank liked her work very much. After this, a good conversation started between the two. Then the girl lovingly held Frank's hand and told her real name. Now Frank came to know that the girl's name was Gabby. She smiled looking at Frank and left from there. At the same moment some armed people surrounded Frank from behind and then in a moment Frank found himself tied in the same room. Then Frank's eyes fell on the vent and with its strange light, Frank was once again lost in the world of memories. Frank saw his house, the train, the city's lights, the cafe, Gabby's photographs taken by him. Gabby once again held his hand while talking to him lovingly. This time Frank was able to see everything more closely than before, but this time also the goons attacked him from behind and he reached back to the cell. Then suddenly he asked Howard to make coffee. As soon as Howard's attention was diverted, Frank attacked him fiercely. Then suddenly loud noises started coming from the siren and a gas started filling in the room. Frank tried to hold his breath in the gas for a long time, but then he failed and fell unconscious there. After this he saw a strange room where he was given an injection. After this he again reached the same cafe and everything started happening as before, but when Gabby saw that Frank was sitting quietly in a lot of worry, Gabby made coffee for him from her side and gave it to him. All the customers got up and left, but the people who were going to attack Frank had not arrived yet. Then he realized that this time Gabby did not ask him for money for the coffee, due to which the scanner of the card reader did not activate. Now Gabby was comfortably talking to him, but Frank interrupted her and told her that all this that is happening is not real. Gabby did not understand anything and she asked Frank for help in lifting the chairs. When Frank got up, his eyes kept going to the scanner again and again, for some unknown reason. He looked at the scanner carefully and it was revealed that the identification number of some other person was being written in it. At the same time, some people with guns came and stood behind him. Suddenly Frank's eyes opened and he reached back to the cell. Now he understood where the mistake happened. Actually, the police who had come to the coffee shop caught Frank instead of the real culprit because of the wrong identity notification number. But on this Howard said that the bioscanner cannot make a mistake, but Frank started saying that his name has appeared on someone else's number in the system and maybe this mistake is happening because of this glitch. He started telling that ID number to Howard from his memory, but he was not able to remember the whole number. For this, Frank will have to immerse himself in his memories once again. He looked towards the vent and once again reached the world of memories. His eyes opened on his bed and this time he was able to see everything happening very closely. After this, he was walking in the city at night when suddenly there was a huge explosion nearby and Frank once again returned to his cell. There was darkness all around and strange lights were blinking. Howard was also not responding to anything. Here too, sounds of explosions were being heard. Frank got scared and started shouting for help, but alas, it was of no use. That is why he went to sleep later. When he opened his eyes, he saw that everything was still the same. He filled a glass with water dripping from the roof. Suddenly he heard some sounds from the ventilation grill. He ran there and saw a man. Frank asked him if he was also a prisoner. That man broke the grill and said that the company that imprisoned them here has lost. The wardens fled the building and the electronic network here has completely stopped working. That prisoner told Frank that how this company was stealing the memories of people by hypnotizing them with the help of vent lights. They used to enter the prisoners' minds and fraudulently obtain secret information, but soon the other prisoners' rooms started filling with gas. Frank called him, but it was too late. Later, when Frank opened his eyes, he saw that all the things in the room were in their places as before. Once again, he got lost in the same memory. When he was in the cafe with Gabby, Gabby called his name, then Frank asked him if he could sit there like that. Gabby allowed him and started taking orders of other people. Suddenly the scanner got activated. And Frank immediately hid because he did not want to be caught. He told Gabby the truth that the government has imprisoned him in a cell where they are searching for evidence of such a crime through neurotransmission which he never committed. After this, whatever happened to him during the day, everything started repeating itself in his morning. Cafe Gabby Howard camera and sound of bullets behind him whenever he was with Gabby. They both gradually came closer. Now Gabby started appearing in his every memory and he started feeling that Frank's story is true after this. When he was in memories the next time and the police came to arrest him, Frank and Gabby together attacked them. Frank questioned them, but then he realized that all this is happening only in his mind. Frank tried to tell this to Gabby. Gabby calmed him down and promised that they will fix everything together. Now Frank reached back to the cell and talked to Howard. Then he saw that sometimes Howard shuts down for a few seconds. Now Frank again met Gabby in memories and told her this Howard shuts down for 12 seconds. So he had a chance to escape from here. Frank told Gabby that he will execute his escape plan today itself. Now the time had come to separate from Gabby because after escaping from the cell, he will never be able to meet her again. Although Gabby was only a product of his memories, but then Frank felt bad about going away from her. He promised Gabby that he will definitely find her in real life. Then Gabby took money from him and took his order. Then the scanner got activated and Frank kissed Gabby. Suddenly the police reached there with guns and as soon as the shot was fired, Frank came back to the cell. Howard started talking to him again. Then Frank asked him for coffee. Then Frank got the bathroom door opened and stood at the door. As soon as Howard stopped for 12 seconds, Frank quickly put a bag on the camera and took out an iron pipe from the toilet. Howard started again and then the robot cleaning the room came there. Frank immediately attacked it and broke it and ran to the hall. After this Frank opened the lid of the underground bunker and finally came out of there. He saw that he was in a desert and started running towards the mountains. While walking he reached a gas station and took out a bottle of water and started drinking. Then suddenly he saw the picture of Gabby's cafe. The bottle fell from his hand and he once again reached the cell. Then he realized that his escape plan was just an illusion. He got very angry and started saying that from now on he will not eat or drink anything. Now Howard will have to send him out or else he will die of hunger and thirst here, which will directly mean that Howard could not complete the task of keeping him alive. Finally Frank remembered why he was brought here. Actually Frank was a member of the alliance opposing the machines. He had created a virus to destroy this system and he had the flash drive of this virus. But when he was caught, Frank succeeded in closing the depths of his mind. due to which the company could not reach the bottom of the truth. Now Howard's job was to keep Frank alive, and for that he will have to open the door. But Howard refused. Now Frank started threatening Howard in different ways. Then suddenly the door of the room opened because Howard was scared of Frank's threats. After this, Frank went to the hall and found a remote control in a room. There was no one there. Then Frank talked to Howard and thanked him for opening the door and said goodbye forever. After this, Frank came out and walked through the icy rock. He went ahead and saw that it was the same place as Gabby's pictures and sat down in despair because he felt that maybe this was also his illusion, and then some real people saw him, and finally he was taken home, and the news came on TV that Frank is the first man to escape alive from that center. This jail was abandoned by the military 2 years ago, and the system there is running on windmills energy. None of the other 300 prisoners present there survive. Finally Frank returned to real life. Then he reached the same cafe where Gabby used to work. He took coffee and thanked Gabby, but that girl said that my name is not Gabby but Madeline. Frank was still happy that he was free from prison and now he could befriend Madeline. Well, Frank will do whatever he has to do, but how did you like this story, and if you were in Frank's place, what would you have done? Do tell us in the comments. See you in the next video. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, then subscribe to it now, so that such amazing and interesting movie stories can reach you first. Thanks for watching.